guess who's back in the house? I hope that you guys are having a lovely day. I just watched episode 8 of AJ and the Queen, and this episode is titled Baton Rouge. And AJ and Ruby are really becoming like child and parent, and the themes of this episode are family, the definition of family, and also I believe it's a critique on the healthcare system. And I have said this for like every single episode up to like episode 4 that this is my favorite episode. But this particular episode was just dynamic. Everyone is in character. Everyone knows kind of like the spirit of their character and the needs of the character. And so it just made it so much more enjoyable. And it really is kind of like a full circle moment because we learn a lot of things that we didn't know episode 1. So in the very beginning of the episode, we have Ruby pushing AJ in a swing in a playground. And it looks like any father pushing his child. AJ wants to go higher, and Ruby pushes her with like more force, and she flies off of the swing. Ruby rushes her to the hospital, and AJ is saying like, please don't take me to the hospital, this is unnecessary, I'm fine, but he can see that she's in physical pain. And he doesn't really understand why she doesn't want to be admitted to the hospital. So we learn that he doesn't really know any of her medical history. He doesn't know her last name. And we do know that he hasn't contacted his mother personally. And so he has a difficult time filling out the medical information needed to fully admit her into the hospital. And there's a woman that's kind of like sitting next to them that kind of like overhears. Actually, he speaks to her, and he relays to her that he doesn't even know how old she is. And so that woman has a lot of questions about their relationship. And so he convinces the staff that he's her pageant coach, which is kind of hilarious because one of the doctors says like, I don't think that this is a pageant kid because she's very aggressive. And so the hospital staff separate them at one point. And the cool thing about this episode is that we get a lot of like flashbacks. And so there is a flashback to two different periods of AJ's life where she has to call 911 because her mother is having an overdose. And during that period of time in the hospital, she is actually put into foster care. And so we see why she is emotionless, because I think she feels as if she is part of the reason why she was put into foster care. And she doesn't want to be in the hospital because of that, because she was separated from her mother the last time she was in a hospital. And so we realize that she ran away from foster care shortly after that period of time, and that she was living in their apartment. She broke a window to sneak into the apartment, and that's when she actually transformed from Amber Jasmine into AJ. We also get an earlier flashback where her mother gives birth to her. And so previously she had stated that she was named after a racist Disney character, but we learned that she's actually named after the two nurses that helped her mother deliver her into the world. And so that was really cool to see, having that story. And so it was unexpected, but I really loved it because it adds more to the story. I love when a story tells you one thing, but then you realize that something else is going on. So I really appreciated that. And so there's so many layers that are pulled back in this particular episode. We also see the first day, or the day that Lewis lost his eyesight. Lewis and Ruby were performing at a club together, and in the story we know that RuPaul is doing a Judy Garland number. So RuPaul loves Judy Garland, and so I knew at some point we would have some type of reference or performance to Judy Garland. And so she's wearing this beautiful red gown and a blonde wig, which I don't think Judy Garland was ever blonde. She could have been. And so they're performing a Christmas song, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, which comes from a movie that came out in 1944 called Meet Me in St. Louis. And so I don't know if any of you guys knew that, but if you did, leave a comment. And she actually is the little, I guess it's like the musical instrument that she's holding. It has two monkeys on it. That's actually from the movie, which seemed kind of like out of place in the performance between Ruby and Lewis. And so she also is with kind of like some type of, I think it's a doll or a puppet. And basically the doll keeps turning to the audience. And so the doll is supposed to represent the little girl that's with Judy in the movie. In the movie, they're sitting in front of a window, and Judy is explaining to the little girl that they have to leave the city that they're in to go, I think, to New York. And so Ruby tries to make it more comical, and the doll keeps facing the window, and Ruby is trying to prevent the doll from getting all of the attention of the club. So she takes off like this like bedazzled scarf and throws it over the doll. So that scene comes from Meet Me in St. Louis. And Meet Me in St. Louis is considered to be one of Judy Garland's best films of all time. She was really young when she filmed this movie, and during the filming, the director was Vincent Minnelli, who Judy Garland actually married, and that's how Liza Minnelli was conceived. But in a weird twist of fate, Judy Garland found Vincent Minnelli later in life in bed with another man and divorced him. Years later, Liza Minnelli would find, I think, her second husband in bed with another man. So that is such an odd thing that happened between mother and daughter. Another cool thing about the actual filming of this particular episode on AJ and the Queen is that they were filming on the same soundstage as Judy Garland's A Star Is Born. And so it was a very special moment for Rue. And Rue kind of like jokingly said in one of one of the kind of like previews of this particular episode that he was in Judy, and so that was kind of like a funny moment. And so there's a point where the woman who had kind of like questions about Ruby and AJ's relationship, she talks to a staff member to really question Ruby about her relationship. And so Ruby reveals that he has lied about his connection with AJ. And so luckily in a separate room, AJ has told the staff that her mother's a stripper named Destiny at a club called the Booby Trap. One of the staff members calls the Booby Trap, and the name that AJ gives, Destiny, there's an actual stripper that works there that has a daughter, and so the stripper is on her way to the club. So because of this, the staff are relieved. AJ slips out of the room where she's being treated, and she's kind of like hiding in the hospital. Ruby is able to kind of like quickly get out, and she asks a nurse to borrow a nurse's uniform, and she gets in drag and is looking around for AJ, cannot find AJ, and I really don't root for characters in movie theaters or at home, but I was literally talking to my to my phone screen, just like telling Ruby, like where to look. I was like, look there, look there, look there. Like I was really excited as I was watching this episode. And so it is a long, drawn out moment between Ruby getting in full drag and then finding AJ. When she finally finds AJ, it is such a beautiful moment because Ruby was afraid that AJ was going to be put in social services again, and it's not what AJ wants at all. And so they're reunited, and Ruby puts AJ on like a stretcher and wheels her out of the hospital, and they flee to the trailer to go to the next city. Reunited. Thanks, Jake. That was hilarious. And so they're reunited, and it is such a incredible moment. And so I really, oh yeah, it is coming back, but I'm gonna shave it off though. It's too itchy. I don't like it. Oh, but hello. It's good to see you on the live. And so I love this episode. I can't wait to watch the next episode to see. No, I don't. I do not hate you. No. But it's too itchy though. So I can't wait to watch the next episode just to see what happens, because this is episode 8 and there are only 2 more episodes. So I'm actually curious about, because I keep hearing about the pageant for episode 10. So I'm really curious what happens during the pageant episode. But overall, I give this episode an A plus. The writing was incredible. The acting is incredible. Um, the Izzy G, who plays AJ, gave an incredible performance. Um, and I really respect her as an actor. She was 9 during the filming when she first met RuPaul for the first time. I think she was 10 during the filming. And so is really selling me as the character. Episode 1, I was like, I'm not really feeling her as an actress, but she is doing an incredible job with the character. Kudos to her. There is a cameo, I don't know his name, but the actor who plays the gay nurse, he he is a working actor, and he's done like a few kind of like the Law and Order, sign okay, love should be comfortable, we can't have scratching like a okay. Um, the gay nurse, he's been in a lot of, because I have like a hot light on me, that's why I'm scratching it. The gay nurse, he was in this really cool skit on Funny or Die, and it was about like So Mary Kate Olsen, and I'm gonna like butcher it, but basically it was incredible skit where this actress would play Mary Kate, and one day she's arrested and has to take a like her mugshot, and she has on this hat, and she has to remove the hat, and she has like a high heel underneath the hat, and so he tells her to also take off her heels, and I think she's wearing like heels under her heels, and so that guy plays in it, and he's hilarious. So he's a great actor. But all of the actors were brilliant. I love the doctor that sees her, who we learn the name of the club, Booby Trap. But everyone's great, and so A plus for this particular episode. And I can't wait. I'm gonna like watch episode 9, and I'm gonna try to do a review later today. Try to do it. But everyone who joined the live, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Everyone who's watching this after the live, please leave me your comments to know what was your favorite moment in this particular episode. What was your favorite scene? What were your thoughts about kind of like the flashbacks? I thought the flashbacks were edited perfectly. We learned so much in such a short period of time that it was beautifully done. And who really shined in this particular episode for you? There weren't any cameos by any Drag Race alums, so that was really interesting. And so I'm sure we're going to get a lot more in episode 9 and 10. And so make sure that you guys watch the next review. Oh, and thanks to all of the new followers. I really appreciate that. Please like, share this video. And if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, subscribe. And hit the notification bell. So until next time, love yourself, love your family and friends, and I will see you in the next review. Besos.